Take a deep breath. Here we go. What if the one who abandoned you was never meant to stay? What if every heartbreak wasn't a curse, but a classroom? A sacred mirror reflecting the parts of you that still felt unworthy of love. Because if Pluto, right here, this symbol, lives in your seventh house, right here, partnership was never going to be simple. It was going to be sacred. And not just romantic love, but every connection that carried weight for you. The friend who betrayed you, the parent who couldn't even choose you, the mentor who used you, the spouse who couldn't see your light. Each one a mirror, each one a turning point. This placement doesn't just shape who you attract, it reveals the hidden contracts your soul made around love, trust, betrayal, and power. It shows you where you once gave yourself away just to be chosen, and where, in this lifetime, you are being asked to choose yourself. Because until you do, every lover becomes a lesson, every goodbye becomes a reckoning, and every relationship becomes a portal to your deepest wounds. But, beautiful one, you were never too much. You were never too much. You were just too powerful to keep betraying yourself. And this time, love won't cost you your soul. It will be built on the truths of who you are and the power you no longer hand away. So, who is Pluto? Pluto, the symbol right here, is the keeper of your soul's deepest contracts. He doesn't knock politely. That's not who he is. He drags what's been hidden into the light. In mythology, Pluto was the god of the underworld. But in astrology, he's not here to punish. He's here to purge, to show you the parts of yourself that were buried beneath fear and shame and survival and silence. Pluto governs power, trauma, death, rebirth, sexuality, control, wealth, and shadow. But above all else, Pluto governs the truth. Not the truth you were taught, not the version of you that played nice to be loved, but the truth you feel in your bones when no one is watching. When Pluto enters a house in the chart, in your chart specifically, he doesn't ask who hurt you. He asks, will you stop hurting yourself by pretending that didn't matter? He also asks, will you reclaim the power you gave away to stay safe? And if you're ready, he doesn't just destroy the illusion, he resurrects your essence. Because Pluto is not about breaking you, he's about birthing you as the version of yourself that no longer needs to betray your truth just to be loved. He is the soul's deepest initiator. And when Pluto lives in your seventh house, that initiation will come through the mirror of relationships. Welcome back, beautiful ones. I'm Cindy, and this is Pluto Through the Houses, a series that doesn't just explain your chart, it helps you remember why you came. So, take a deep breath because this one's deep and this one is personal to me because it is my placement. So, in your natal chart, the chart that you were born with, if you have this symbol, this is Pluto. And if you see the number 7, you are in the 7th house. I'm talking to you. Okay. So, If Pluto lives in your seventh house, then you already know partnership was never going to be a surface level. It was always going to be a crucible, a mirror, a sacred confrontation with everything you loved, everything you feared, everything you inherited, and everything you lost. And this doesn't just mean romance. This is about every space where you have tried to belong, every dynamic where you gave more than you received, every friendship where your needs were too much, every job, community, client, family system, or connection where the cost of being seen was invisibility. Because this placement teaches something that no one else tells you. Love isn't always gentle. Sometimes love is the flame that reveals what you can no longer carry. And yet, there's more. Because beneath the power struggles, the betrayals, the longing, and the ache of being met in a way your soul craves, Pluto is whispering, you didn't come here just to survive relationships. You came to remember your worth inside of it. If Pluto lives in your seventh house, then relationships have never been just companionship. They've become contracts, some signed in blood, some in silence, sacred bonds sealed long before this lifetime. You've known what it is to lose yourself in love, to become invisible in order to stay connected, to hand over your voice, your body, your future, just to feel chosen. And you've known the opposite too, pushing people away before they can abandon you, wearing armor instead of honesty, becoming so fiercely independent that no one gets it. Does this all make sense to you? Because somewhere long ago, they didn't just hurt you, they shattered you. You've been the one silenced, the one silencing. You've been the betrayed and the betrayer, the faithful and the forsaken, the one who stayed way too long, and the one who walked way too soon. In lifetime after lifetime, partnership has mirrored back the parts of you still fractured, still afraid that love will cost you your freedom, or that freedom will cost you your love. But beautiful one, karma is not here to bind you. It's here to wake you. Because once you see the pattern, once you name it, once you hold it in your hands with love instead of shame, it begins to dissolve. And in its place, a new contract, one where love isn't power over or power under, but power with. One where you get to be fully you, and they get to meet that version, not the masked one, not the pleasing one, and not the wounded one, the real one. Because this time, this lifetime, you don't have to lose yourself to be loved. In your natal chart, the chart that you were born with, if this symbol is here and it's in the house number 7, then this is Pluto, natal Pluto in the 7th house. I'm talking to you. Okay, take a deep breath. When Pluto lives in the 7th house, in your 7th house, relationships don't just reflect who you are. They reveal who you've hidden. This is the placement of the sacred mirror, and sometimes of the sacred battlefield. Because in this lifetime, relationships carry a hidden voltage. Love electrifies the nervous system. Connections, they awaken old codes. Closeness feels both magnetic and terrifying. I know you crave intimacy, but you also fear annihilation in it. Not because you're broken, but because you remember what happened the last time you let someone all the way in. You remember being overpowered. You remember betrayal. You remember love twisted into control or tenderness turned into abandonment. You remember partnerships where you lost yourself completely and the silence that followed when you tried to reclaim your voice again. So now you walk the tightrope between merging and disappearing, between connection and collapse, between choosing yourself or choosing someone else. Maybe you fall for intense magnetic partners, people who seem to see you only to later try and shape you. Maybe your relationships swing between obsession and isolation. Maybe you take your partner's wound and call it love. Maybe you stayed too long in something toxic. Or even, maybe you've even left too quickly when things got real. Or maybe you're the one who holds all the power now, the one who decides how close people get, the one who decides who gets access to your heart, who gets your truth and only sees the mask. Because when Pluto lives in your seventh house, you've been burned before. But let me say this, beautiful one. This wound, it didn't start with you. Pluto in the seventh house often speaks to a lineage of distorted partnership, where love was survival, not sanctuary, where marriage was a contract of land, for status, for safety, never the heart, where affection was weaponized, where control was masked as devotion, where silence was taught as the price of peace. You may carry cellular memory of grandmothers who stayed just to keep the family fed, of men who shut down their emotions because feeling made them weak, of caregivers who gave everything except their truth, of generations who never got to choose love, only endure it. And your so beautiful one, has said, this ends with me. So when you find yourself sabotaging closeness, distrusting kindness, or craving power over peace, do me a favor. I want you to pause. You may be walking with their grief, but you're here now. And to name the pattern, and you're here to break it. Okay? But this placement isn't a curse, it's a key. Because no matter how broken the pattern has felt, your soul came here to rewrite that contract. You came here to experience the kind of relationship that doesn't cost you your truth, that doesn't require betrayal or abandonment to feel alive, that doesn't rely on power imbalance to feel passionate. Pluto is saying, let every relationship be a mirror, not of your wounds, but of your power. Let love be the place where your truth expands, not contracts. Let intimacy feel like revelation, not sacrifice. And most of all, let you be the first person you commit to, fully, fiercely, first. because when your relationship with you becomes sacred, everything else aligns from that frequency. So now that I've told you a little bit about Pluto and what it means, what he means, what this placement means in your life, let's talk about Pluto and society and how we have that wound, right? So we live in a world that tells you that relationships are everything, that success is measured by whether you're chosen or not, right? That being partnered is the prize and being alone is failure. But what kind of partnerships are we really modeling? From stage reality shows to political alliances, from legal contracts to influencer collabs. We've been trained to prioritize appearances over authenticity. So we've inherited a collective shadow that equates agreements with peace, submission with harmony, silence with strength. And this is the Pluto in the seventh house wound at scale. Okay, this is on a societal level. We've learned to perform connection, not to embody it, but to perform it. We stay quiet to avoid conflict. That's just too uncomfortable. We mirror others to be liked. We shrink our needs to preserve the relationship. We call it compromise, but it's often quiet abandonment. That's what it is. We celebrate marriages that are devoid of intimacy. We idolize power couples whose love is a brand. We sign contracts, legal, emotional, and spiritual, that keep us trapped in roles we've outgrown. And in doing so, we lose the essence of what partnership was always meant to be, a mirror of our soul's growth, not a mask for our survival. Now, we have Pluto in Aquarius for the next 20 years in transit, right? So Pluto in Aquarius will break open. It will break these things open. Already, we see a mass disillusionment with institutions, right? We're seeing that come about. Marriage, government, religion, even friendship and family systems. Because the old models were built on hierarchy, silence, and fear. And we are being asked now to co-create new models rooted in sovereignty, truth, and sacred independence, where power is not held over, but shared with. There's plenty. Where intimacy does not require perfection, where the collective learns to pattern with difference without demanding sameness. I mean, Aquarius is not the same as everybody else. We know this, right? This is the deeper alchemy of the seventh house at a societal level, not just who we love, but how we relate across identity and belief and gender and race and class and spirit. Because the real revolution is in how we see each other. So because Pluto shows us our wounds, where we're wounded, right? Let's talk about the healing. How do we get through this? Okay? On a societal level and on a personal level, because it's hitting both, right? So I want you to know you are allowed to take up space. Okay? If Pluto lives in your seventh house, then the healing that lives in your first house, the house of self, the face you wear, the life force you radiate. And that's the medicine. You're the medicine. Because when you've spent lifetimes revolving around other people's needs, safety gets confused with invisibility. You forget what it feels like to be the center of your own life, to be seen without adjusting, to speak without permission, to move without explaining. And healing begins with reclaiming your right to exist on your own terms. Okay? Not what you've been taught, but on your own terms. Now, this means letting go of guilt for wanting more than a transactional connection. This also means telling the truth, even when it trembles. It also means feeling the discomfort of being misread or misunderstood without over explaining. Stop over explaining. It also means choosing relationships that see your fullness, not just your function. It also means making decisions based on desire, not duty. Because here's what Pluto has shown you. People will love your potential, your peacekeeping, your reflection of them, but still leave when you show your real self. So why not just start with your truth and your real self? And the first house healing isn't just rational, it's somatic. It lives in the body. That's the first house. So to help with this, you may need to retrain your nervous system to feel safe in your own energy again. To walk into a room without scanning it first. To wear what you love instead of what's neutral. To release that subtle clench in your jaw. I know a lot of you probably have that. Or that in your belly. That comes from bracing for others' reaction. And a lot of you may not even know you're doing this. Okay. So healing here is learning to partner with yourself first, not out of isolation, but out of devotion, to choose your own frequency. But you don't even recognize your own frequency, to anchor in your own truth, not what people have taught you what the truth is, your own truth, to become so rooted in who you are that no mirror can distort it again. So for this, let me give you some visualization and breath work to help. Okay. This is going to help you return to yourself. Now, again, I can only give you the tools and help guide you. It is up to you and your path and your choices to do the work. Okay. So begin by closing your eyes, and then you want to place one hand over your heart and one hand on your belly. Okay. These are the two important chakras. I mean, they're all important, but these, when we're healing and we're realigning, that's why you're hearing me say these on all of them, is like one hand on your heart for the heart chakra and one on your belly for the sacral. Okay. I want you to take a deep breath in and feel your body expand. I want you to feel it, be in the present, not just with air, but with you. Okay. Your energy, your truth, your present. And exhale slowly. Okay. So as you breathe in, just really feel you, and then exhale slowly. Let go of the contracts that told you it was safer to shrink. Let them go. Those were over other lifetimes. You're done with that. Okay. Breathe in again. This time, breathe into your spine. I want you to feel yourself becoming more upright, more here, more alive. I want you to really breathe into your spine. And as you exhale, just release the mirror. Release the need to be received before you can be real. You want to say that again? Release the need to be received before you can be real. Just be real. Now visualize a gentle golden light glowing from your solar plexus. Okay? Right below your rib cage. Okay? This is where your power center is. Let it grow bigger, brighter, steadier until it surrounds your entire body. And then I want you to say softly in your mind or out loud if you want. It just depends on what you want to do. I want you to say, I return to myself now. I belong to me. I am enough as I am. And I choose partnerships that honor the fullness of my truth. I want you to sit with that for a second. And then I want you to take one final breath in and out gently. And then I want you to open your eyes. And I want you to know you are not who you were before this breath. And the world can feel it now. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about if you have Aquarius as your seventh house. Okay, so if you have your Aquarius as your seventh house, Pluto is going to be in here for the next 19 and a half, it's 20 years altogether, but 19 and a half. So from 2024 to 2044. So you've probably experienced some of these things, right? So Pluto moving into Aquarius is going to be activating that seventh house of relationships, contracts, and soul agreements. And this transit, it's not about romance. It's about revolution. Because Pluto doesn't just enter the house of partnership and whisper sweet nothings. That's not Pluto. He enters with a scalpel and he is cutting through the illusions, the projections, and the old survival bonds. This is the era of karmic relationship purging, of watching partnerships, personal, professional, spiritual, all of it. Either they're going to evolve or they are going to end. So if you've built your connections upon approval or obligation or people pleasing, they're not going to hold. If you've avoided conflict by abandoning yourself, the mirror is going to crack. But if you're ready, like truly ready to call in relationships that match your growth, then Pluto will place you face to face with partners who challenge you, who mirror you, and who invite you to your best, to your becoming. This transit also is going to reconfigure how you negotiate power, how you handle confrontation, how you create independence without codependence, and how you honor your soul in every agreement you enter. Okay? So get ready. If it's not already happening, it's going to be happening. You may divorce. You may meet a soulmate. You may end a contract. You may start a movement. But above all, you will no longer be able to lie to yourself about who you are in relationships. Okay, by the end of this transit, because Pluto in Aquarius doesn't seek balance, he seeks authentic alignment. And that might mean tearing up old rule books, the ones that you were handed about love and marriage and being the good one. It might mean letting go of the person you tried to be just to be loved. Okay? But what you gain in return, what you're going to gain is self-respect, energetic clarity, sovereign connections, and the soul of partnership you came here to embody. You don't have to earn love anymore. You have to recognize it by becoming it first. And then, and only then, that changes everything. So, beautiful one, if you've made it this far, let me say this. I see you. I know how heavy this is felt at times. I know the longing that lives behind your strength. And I know this truth. Because this is my placement too. You were never asking for too much. You were asking for the kind of love your soul remembered. Pluto in the seventh house has shaped you through loss, through longing, through mirrors that cut and reflections that saved. But now Please hear me when I say this. You are the mirror, not of pain, but of wholeness. And as Pluto moves through Aquarius from 2024 to 2044, you are being called to form partnerships that reflect your truth, not your trauma. This is the era of relational revolution, and you were born to lead it. This is the final episode of the Hero series, Pluto Through the Houses. If you missed any placements, start from the beginning. It is going to help you tremendously. I have poured my heart and soul into this. Okay? I've given you lots of wisdom here, lots of experience here. Each house holds a soul key. Each story helps you remember who you are. Explore the Hero series on this channel. And also, the Soul's Path. I'm doing that too with the North Node Wisdom. Don't forget that. That's on Wednesdays. And also, on Mondays, I do the forecasts that shift timelines. Look into those too. They help us know how to navigate the energy that's now. Okay? And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do Sacred Sync. Okay? That drops every Tuesday, Thursday. And this is where I channel and do tarot readings. Okay? This is channel message and tarot frequency to guide your week with clarity and magic, because there's a lot of cool stuff, magic happening. So if this episode resonated, comment below, tell me your story, and subscribe. Share this with someone who needs it. And most of all, remember who you are in every relationship you enter. You're not here to lose yourself in love. You're here to be found in your fullness. I'll see you on the next timeline.